Hey guys.
Hey,
What's up?
how's your coffee? How's your quad shot?
It's pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie to
Oh
you.
my gosh, starts a coffee.
Drinking
car.
an iced quad in a tall cup with some 2% milk. When did Starbucks get special ice?
What do you mean?
Little pebble ice.
Oh,
They've been having good
like
ice.
2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, some of them have it, some of them don't.
You know what I appreciate?
Didn't
Plastic
notice.
cups. You go
Oh,
any
gosh.
any Starbucks in the city of Carlsbad, paper cups, hot or iced. Paper cups, paper straws.
oh, that is interesting.
I'm ready to cut that whole section of California out and just ship it into the ocean.
Wait, who's giving paper?
Carlsbad, the city limits of Carlsbad.
Oh, they're giving
Paper
a paper cup for an
everything.
iced beverage.
Mhm.
They're doing a Phil's thing.
Well, what about
all
the
paper.
what about the top? What's going on the top?
Paper.
This?
It's a paper
Yes,
lid.
Yes.
Ugh.
And it's awful.
Guys.
It's a paper lid, a paper cup,
Guys,
a
we've
paper
gone
straw.
too far. We've gone too
Well, you
far.
That's what
know
I'm
how it
saying.
goes with those paper straws. They're done in like 30 minutes. They're
And those
done.
people, they're like, let's be
Melted.
real. If you're living in Carlsbad, you made your money off something shady. I'm gonna take a saw and just all city limits.
Is that something I
Yeah,
don't
you
know
made your
about?
money off of oil. You got to be richy rich. You you
Carlsbad?
don't make real money
Carlsbad's
off of
all
something
oil
good.
barons, you think?
I believe so.
Hi, everybody.
I mean-
Welcome back to
oh.
What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
Together we are.
Ryan and John.
Hey, John.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
That's a cool hat. I dig that.
Thank you.
Did you get that at a Switchfoot concert?
I did. This is actually John Foreman's one of John Foreman's solo albums.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we went to Carlsbad, actually, and we saw him perform in a little tiny venue, super cool. And he's John Foreman is an awesome, you know.
He's one of my top guys. I really like a lot of Switchfoot's music. Was like very big for me
Yeah,
in high school and coming up. And
and he
sorry, 1 second. On the couch as always. Cara Tafolla. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Annie the Skovmand, always fresh, never frozen, joining us again this week. Yeah, let's just get right into it, eh? When
Yeah.
the conversation's hot, you got to strike it.
yeah, no, he made a lot of solo albums that I really liked, and then he just is like a true
The Seasons.
Yeah,
right?
he's a true
Yeah.
performer. Like he made this whole documentary called 25 and 24 where he did 25 shows in 24 hours. Now some of them were like at gas stations, like just little crowds, but
Awesome.
it's because, and he says like in the documentary, he's like, I love the community of performing live, and like, and I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was right. No, it was before the pandemic. It was before the pandemic.
I think it was, but I remember seeing it happening, like on socials.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was super fun, and so like even in the Switchfoot shows, he a lot of times he'll go into the parking lot after the show's over, and he'll play like a 30-minute set on his guitar and him, and
I love that.
the rest of the band doesn't come. I guess I don't know.
Well,
Good guy though.
good guy. Salt of
We
the
met
earth.
him. We met him.
Yes, we
We got a photo with him?
did. We hung out
Don't
at
ask
the
me to
Bro-Am.
see it because
Don't-
we didn't get the actual photo.
yeah, we never got the photo.
'Cause
huh?
we weren't on the VIP list. We got branded as VIP, but we weren't actually VIP.
Well, sometimes when you hang out with me long enough, John, you just find yourself in these situations.
Yeah. You know who it is? You know who really is the situation? It's your dad.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what? He
yeah.
has,
Well, that's what I mean, because I
crazy
hang out with my dad,
and then
and
he
then he
doesn't.
gets into these weird
Because
situations.
at some point, like, we got the VIP bracelets when we went to the Bro-Am thing, and then it was like, the lady tried to look us up, and she's like, "You're not on here." And then she's like, "Oh, you're just like a general admission."
Yeah.
And she's like, don't worry about it. But it was like, but then when they took all those photos, you had to be VIP to take a photo with them, and then they sent an email to the VIP people, like, "Hey, here's all the photos," but because we weren't on the list, we never got the link, the whole thing.
This thing, what I think I've pinned it down is that my dad has this, like, I don't know if it's undue at this point. He just has this like deep sense of confidence.
Yes.
When
Yes.
interacting with just about anybody.
Yep.
This one time we were at the NAMM show and Keith Urban is there, like promoting his new guitar or something was there.
Love it.
And he's like, okay, let's get out, let's go talk to Keith Urban. Let's go. And then all of a sudden we're talking to Keith Urban, chatting him up. We're taking a picture and he's like, we're standing kind of like next to him. And my dad goes, "Oh, bro, let me check out your tattoos." And like pulls up his sleeve to like look at his tats. And his security guard's like, "Yeah, no, don't touch him, don't touch him." He's like, "Oh no, I just want to like check out the tats." And then at that point, Keith Urban's like, "Okay, like, goodbye, mate. All right, see you later, mate." Yeah, you know how those Aussies do.
It's so
He's an
good.
Aussie, right?
He just wanted to look at his tattoos. And
He
started looking
fully
at
like
shit.
pulled up his thing and was like, "Oh, dude, check out your ink!" Like,
And
and he
what's
kind of
funny
was
is
like,
that-
"Oh, haha, yeah."
Keith Urban was probably semi okay with it, and then once the security guard's like, "No, don't do that," he's like, "Oh,
So
maybe
funny.
I shouldn't do
The whole
that."
situation's heightened. Yeah,
A lot of those celebrities rely on their security like that in that way. You know.
same. I don't go anywhere without my security.
Yeah, wouldn't it be awesome? I was talking to Jordan the other day. It's so random, but we were talking about how a lot of San Diego Padre players live in Coronado,
Yes.
and how it's like super nice because you just bust over the bridge and you're right there, and you just roll into the park.
Sure.
And how nice it must be to be like they're like they live in Coronado, which is super nice, and then they're really close to work for them,
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool. And then I was like, but I think I'd be one of those players that would just get driven everywhere. I don't know that I would want like I'd like to have a fancy car, but I'm like,
You don't want to roll up
if
and
I had
park
the
in a
money,
player lot?
Don't you feel like having like a black Escalade with some guy driving you, roll up and just hop out? Like I feel like that's what I do.
Yeah, it's a little bit like you have handlers though. Like,
Yeah, well, true.
I don't know if I want somebody like, oh, like right this way, like escorting me into. I want to be the level of fame where I can drive around in a nice car that I've purchased for myself, and maybe there is a security guard with me, like in another car, unmarked vehicle behind me or something.
I was thinking like game.
You're not
day.
that famous.
What do you mean?
When you're a
no, I'm
baseball
saying,
player?
That's why they feel comfortable enough to drive around with their
Oh.
fancy cars because they're not that famous.
but Manny Machado, Tatis, like those guys get stopped anywhere. You don't see them hanging out at a bar somewhere.
They're driving with their tinted windows straight to the player lot.
Maybe
Well,
that's true.
I think it's because they want to. I think they
Yeah.
could easily get.
And also,
escorted.
if you leave the game, you can leave the game.
What
you
do
know,
you mean?
like if you want to
Oh.
leave the stadium yourself,
yeah, but if
they
I
have their car.
But if I have my personal driver, I'm leaving. I'm leaving whenever I
If
want.
they if they lose, it's like nobody cares. You can just walk right out the front door.
It's true. That is true.
Oh yeah, nice one, Manny. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for that. Way to hustle.
Oh yeah. No, I just think I was like, I think I would just. I don't think like if I got. Well, I guess it's not even about fame. If I had that much money, I think I would like, especially when you talk about going to the one thing that you're getting all this paid money for. Like,
Yeah.
Especially, I guess, take out of the context of the Padres. Like, even if I was a CEO of a major company,
Sure.
and I was making, $20 million a year for whatever, I feel like I would be like, yeah, I want to be driven everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I would just want it to be, hey, I'm going to pick you up, drop you off, blah, blah, no problem.
I think there's a time and place for it, but I don't know about every time. I feel like at some point you'd feel like Michael Jackson, where you're buying the grocery store just so you can pretend to shop in it. Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah.
So crazy. Or like when Michelle Obama went on Ellen. Like,
Yeah.
they just like want some semblance of normal
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Like, please just let me like hang out in
Yeah.
a grocery store. I feel like some of that stuff I'd miss. Like if you're like mega celebrity.
Yeah. I remember I watched the video of Michael Jackson going through that like really like ornate like vase store or whatever. It was like really niche, like really garish home decor stuff.
Uh-huh.
And he's walking the store. He's like, okay, I want 2 of these. I
That
want 2
one.
of these. He goes, do I already have these? And the guy's like, yeah, we already have it written down. He goes, okay.
Okay,
never
4
mind.
more.
4 more. It's so wild to be like, because for us, we're shopping. We're always looking at the price tag. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
And maybe you
most
buy,
always.
and even if you went into an expensive store, you would like think about this one thing and be like, okay, I'm going to purchase this. I'm a smart shopper.
And he's like,
2 of those.
2 of these, 6 of
those.
these. I'm like, oh my
4 more
gosh.
vases.
And they're like, and then at one point he goes, how much are these? He's like, that's $125,000. He's like, okay, I'll take 3.
He's like, oh, they're
was
on
like-
sale.
I was like,
Poor MJ, man.
oh man, wow, crazy.
Crazy. Well,
Yeah.
I think they're making was a Michael Jackson movie coming out or something? Wasn't his son, like one of his sons or one of the Jacksons was going to play him?
Yeah, I
not
did
sure.
see something like
I
that.
think it died on the vine. I don't know.
There was another thing that was being crowdfunded, and it was a documentary about Stan Lee from the personal footage that his assistant made
Oh, yes.
had taken of like how he had been mistreated and abused.
Yeah.
But it's being crowdfunded because it's just like his old personal assistant who has all this
Mhm.
footage, and it's about like the ugly side of how Hollywood like mistreated and abused this old man for money.
Yeah,
is
because
so sad.
towards the end of his life, I mean, the guy basically built the whole company of Marvel and then had to slowly sell pieces of it one by one, like just to be able to, because nobody cared about comic books like up until 2008 when Iron Man came out, and so he became this like face of the company of Marvel, but they just like would tote him around to Comic-Cons and different like panels and stuff, openings, and it was literally like he had handlers. Like, okay, Mister, let's go. Let's go.
There was
You're
like
gonna
a
go.
clip of him parked in his scooter, napping in like a supply closet.
No.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So brutal. Yeah.
Stanley, R.I.P.
But-
I remember I saw in all that footage. I saw one of the PAs like that was in charge of escorting him around. He's like, "Can I go back to my dress room?" And they're like, "No, you need to be right here." He's like, "I'm kind of tired." And like, "Nope, sorry, you're about to go on stage like in 5 minutes." And he's like, "Okay, I guess." And he's just like, you could tell he's just like
Poor
worn
old
out.
man. Like,
And it's
I mean,
like,
he's probably senile at that point, but they're like, yeah, whatever, just shut up, just don't talk, go on stage, wave to the fans.
that's brutal, man.
Elder abuse.
Brutal.
Famous elder abuse.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, speaking of elder abuse, Trump's got another grift.
Yeah, Trump Mobile coming soon. And Trump Mobile.
Walk me through that. So
Okay.
he's selling the phones, or he's doing a
No,
phone
it's a whole
service
cellular
plan?
network. It's
Plan.
a whole network.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that a sitting president, couldn't have.
So it's not
A
his,
side
He's
probably
not
a
a part
side.
of it anymore. Technically,
Good. Okay.
he gave like kind of signed over the company to his kids when he first became president because he knew that there are some pretty strict regulations on what presidents can and can't do while in office.
Okay.
So when he won, or I think it was just before like the heat up of the election, he like signed everything away to his kids, which some of that's coming back to him. I mean, but that's like any family would
I mean,
do
it's
that,
just a shell company, probably.
Yeah,
it's
and
on
so-
paper. He's not making
And
any
so
money from
it's
it.
like his sons and his daughters like took different pieces of the Trump empire, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is their kid. The kids are finally launching Trump Mobile.
Trump Mobile.
And it's so for unlimited everything, a single line, it's $47.45. 47.45
The 2 times he was president.
a month.
He can't keep getting away with this.
And
Shouldn't it be 45, 47?
Which honestly,
what
in terms of
47,
competitive
45.
rate, not a bad competitive rate for monthly unlimited everything in terms of price.
I pay 28.
Okay, well,
On a
Thank
family
you.
plan.
on a family plan, yes.
What's the minimum on the family plan? 5 lines,
There
probably.
you go. That's exactly why. I personally pay 45, but that's because I have literally 5 lines on my account, and that's how it gets down that low. But
Sure.
this is like 1 line, whatever. And then later on this year, they're dropping the gold-plated T1 smartphone, which I don't know the details much on it, but it's a $500 smartphone.
I gotta look it up.
And I imagine it probably has Android software because I doubt. I mean, that's what everybody.
So what
yeah.
company did they get a hold of?
Not China.
No, that's the ironic part, is it's probably not even made in America. It's like, that's the whole, all those Trump hats all have the little made in Indonesia sticker on the back. That's what's so funny about it. All the flags, all the merch is like being shipped in from overseas. Gold plated. You know what I just saw is you can make a link. There's a website where, you know how people ask questions on the internet and like you could just Google it? There's a
Yeah.
website called I Just Googled That For You. And it's like an extra step, but it shows you like typing in the question into Google, and then it just sends you to that page.
That's so
It's like,
good.
oh, I just Googled that for you.
Jeez.
You can bring your own phone. So you could bring in your Apple phone and register it under Trump Mobile.
There it is, Trump
No
Mobile.
credit check. This is
So it's, I mean, he knows his audience.
Do you need a credit check to get a phone plan?
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's like getting a
Really?
car.
Yeah, because you're signing up for a long-term, like
Wow.
technically a long-term contract. You can cancel it any time, but
Interesting.
Available for pre-order now. Get ready for the experience and to experience the power of Trump.
It's so goofy, right? Like they're playing them for
Are
fools.
made in the USA T1 phone. So only if you get the gold phone is it made in the USA.
I bet you there's a
It's like a
byline that says
knockoff.
actually it's just the gold.
It's a knockoff, like Apple looking.
And if you're asking the question, how do you just make a cell phone company? Because like it requires cell towers and all that stuff. It turns out I looked it up. You can lease the same equipment that Verizon, AT&T, and everyone else. So like you can pay to just use their towers that are already up, which is so wild to me. I mean, sure, it's a lot.
That's
of money,
how like
but
Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
How Ryan Reynolds was able to get it so low. Also, this is like the most ugly AI looking phone.
That's what I'm saying. Like
It like is someone.
Oh my God.
Someone very rudimentarily did this in Photoshop poorly. And here's my thing: is this is $500, $100 down payment. We couldn't have paid someone like $30 to make a better graphic.
No.
Yeah. It's like a lot of things in like Trump's things that he does, his little side gigs.
Yeah.
It's like what a child imagines that a rich person has. You know what I mean? Like it's like Scrooge McDuck level of goofiness. Like,
that's true.
It's a gold-plated iPhone. Who wants that? Like, what are you talking about? We're going to sell gold-plated iPhones. This is the president of the United States. And not even in like a way of like, oh, well, like, politics. It's like the president of our country should have a little bit of self-respect, right? But he's like doing a side gig where he's selling gold-plated phones. And it's like the power of Trump. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I also think that they should probably make it so that if you're the president, whatever last name you use as your president shouldn't be able to like be on copyrighted materials.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's kind of built in, because that's what made me
Like
think
the
of it.
likeness of a
Because
president.
the kid is running the company and his last name is Trump.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, that should kind of curse you for all time.
I also think, to be fair, I do think that some of it, like, in this instance, I'm not sure that it's helping him.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there are people who are probably buying it, but and I think you look at every president. Every president had its naysayers and do-getters. Like there were both sides to every president. Now some had a larger positive side than a negative side, but I think you talk about likeness and presidency. I'm like, I'm not sure it helps them very much because I'm like they're for 4 years they're in this very divisive role, and like some of them do well, and some like in the case of Jimmy Carter, I mean he was a much better president out of the office than he was in.
Sure.
So it's like I wonder how much of like using your presidential status, does it actually help you or does it actually hurt you? I don't know in terms of business.
I think it only helps Donald Trump. I think it's like because we're seeing something that we haven't seen in a lot of years. Like even Obama was a popular president. Even he didn't have like a fan base.
Yeah.
I feel like Donald Trump is still kind of acting as this like celebrity figure where he's like, okay, I'm the president, but I'm also like never like he doesn't like switch out his celebrity hat and put on his president hat. Like he's just the celebrity hat is sewed on to his head. He can't help but be like, the people, they love me and I love the lights and I love the cars and I love the power, like, and the gold.
So good.
Like it's truly like he has bought his own hype at this point.
Do you think that Reagan had the same experience? Because he was.
I was going to say probably Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Because we love celebrities.
I
We
think
the people. I
Arnold
should say.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just saw him on a clip. I think it was The View, where they kind of asked him about everything that's going on with ICE, and they're like, "What do you feel? You're an immigrant," and he had like a really great answer, in my opinion, where he was kind of like, "I'm really grateful that America accepted me." He's like, "I was 20 years old. I came here with nothing, and like I've been able to build this great career." And he's like, "I truly do believe that like this is the place of dreams, and I'm just like lucky that I came in when I did, and not when it is now, because I probably wouldn't have that same experience," which is so sad. And just kind of calling it out of like why aren't we giving people opportunities?
It was a little bit like Lil Wayne for me. During Black Lives Matter, Lil Wayne was like, "Yeah, I don't see race. Like, I don't think we have a racism problem. I have a great life." And I feel like that's kind of similar.
And
Like
he's on a press tour for his movie. He can't be.
Arnold is.
Yeah.
But like he is, I mean, he kind of does represent like the system working. And obviously in a lot of ways right now the system's not working. So it's like kind of weird to be like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like when I immigrated here in the 70s, it was great.
You see, I saw this video of a Hispanic family and their mom, like she used the term self-deported. She went back to Mexico just on her own terms because of everything that was happening. She was like, I don't want to go through like getting arrested and getting like officially deported. She goes,
sad.
She goes, and so like her whole family, they just had like a party and they drove her to the airport and she went back and she was like, the daughter's the one making this video and she's probably like in her 20s and she's like, yeah, she's like, my mom just wanted to leave on her own terms. She didn't want to have to deal with like
So sad.
the deportation stuff. And I was like, whoa, that was like, it's sad, but it's also like, what a power move. I mean, like go on your own terms, you know? And she also was like comfortable going, apparently she had like some connections in Mexico City where she could get like plugged in back and working and stuff. But her mom seemed like, you know, obviously everyone was sad, but her mom was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go back and I just don't want to deal with the horrific event. Like I don't want my kids to see me hauled away in handcuffs, which is, again, is super sad. And obviously like that's not how it's supposed to be.
Traumatizing.
But I'm like, how interesting that like some people are just deciding, hey, I want to do it my own way. I know it's not the answer for sure, you know, but it's just like, I thought it was really powerful in the sense that like, you know, she just decided for herself, hey, I'm going to do it my way. And if I want to come back, I'll come back. You know? But, you know, but she had come here and had all these kids because all of her kids were natural born citizens.
It's weird like that we're lumping in like the illegalness of like overstaying your visa or like coming over, maybe you hopped the border and you didn't get processed properly. We're lumping that into like the criminal of it all. Like we're calling, you know, people that are maybe here illegally like criminals, and that's not like a criminal offense.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the weird thing is like it's getting caught up in like, yeah, people are being dragged out of their homes, out of their where they work, and these people that are, you know, paying taxes, like contributing to the economy and everything, and want to just benefit from a new life in the U.S. are like now being framed as criminals.
I just wonder why. I know it's a lot of work to develop a system like this, but it feels like we've been battling this process for decades. Like, how hard is it to like sit down and agree on, hey, even if it's a really rigorous process,
right?
Can we develop a process that makes sense for both sides?
It's like start today. What are we talking about? Like
we're so worried about deporting the people that are here, that are actively in our community. And it's like the other thing you talk about the criminal side. It's like the other side about the criminality of it is like if somebody is an immigrant and they commit a crime, they go back. Like that's how it works, you know. So it's like,
that is literally the system.
Now you're going into your with this whole deportation thing. You're literally like breaking down doors. You're going out and trying to find these people who like aren't committing crimes and are just living a life. It's like, can we focus on developing a system to either, hey, this is how you do it, so that way these people are living here can start, because I would say
if they're going under the radar,
want to do it, they just don't know how.
If they're falling through the cracks, it's not because they're sneaky, it's because your system is messed up.
Exactly.
It's like nobody's, you know, obviously there's an arduous process where they get a court date and they have to like petition for citizenship or longer visas and stuff, and you know, these people show up and their court date was moved again, or it's like, you know, months away or something, so they're like working and living and trying to, you know, survive, and it's like, I don't know.
It's just wild to me that like the conversation is we need to deport them or we leave them alone. But there's really not, I don't hear a lot of conversation about, hey, let's develop a process to make it clear. And Annie, you might have more insight just because you worked in government. I'm like, I know, I'm sure it takes a long time to develop these types of things, but I'm like, I just don't hear about, like, you never hear about what's the process being done to like, what is the process, you know?
Because I don't know. I think that fear is like a big moving thing right now. Like to get action is like, oh well, there's all these criminals, like they're hiding in our towns and in our villages. There's Mexicans everywhere and they need to go back to the country because they're here illegally, all these criminals. And like that fires up people like, oh, okay, I guess then that justifies like sending in, normal clothes, like unmarked vehicles to like bust up businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, well, they got to do what they got to do. It's like,
and all this is a lot of this has been happening all this has been really pressure cooking in LA, big in the last couple of weeks. And you heard about the Dodger Stadium thing, but
crazy.
They had a Latina artist come and sing the national anthem. And I think there was an understanding that she was going to sing it in Spanish because she got there and she's like, oh, I'm going to sing it the Spanish. There's actually a
Spanish national
version.
anthem.
Yeah. And that was commissioned by like Roosevelt or something, I think is what she said. But like it was commissioned by a U.S. president to be written. And then when she got there, they're like, no, we want it in English. And then she was like,
It was like 10 minutes before.
Yeah. And so
they told her.
And
like,
so
by the way, you can't do this.
So she sang it in Spanish, and I thought it was really powerful because she was clearly emotional. And
you're also in LA.
And they banned
That's
her
crazy
from Dodger Stadium.
They pedaled back.
Oh,
did they?
Yesterday
Good.
morning,
Got 'em.
she was on a bunch of news stations.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't remember which one she was on. That it was like the first thing. And she said like, yeah, while I was leaving the stadium, we were getting like calls from people saying like, we will never invite you back. Do not contact us. Your agency will never work with us again. This kind of thing.
Whoa.
The next morning, after she posted the TikTok, after she posted the behind the scenes stuff, she's on the news, whatever, and she gets an email saying like, or she saw a statement from the Dodgers that said, no, she will always be invited back.
Boo.
All this stuff.
No
and it's so funny because this
backbone
this news anchor who's talking to her, the news anchor's like, are you kidding me? Like they backpedaled so hard, and she goes, I know, and I won't be back.
Yeah. Oh, of course not. You
Dodger
can't fire me, I
Stadium, by the
quit.
way, has like, maybe it's just more because it's public, but I've been seeing all the time random people getting banned for life from the Dodger Stadium. There's a creator called, his name is Noel, and he's a bus driver, and he makes. I found his content like a long time ago where he'll drive the kids to Disneyland, and then he'll go and like spend the day at Disneyland, and then he films himself like going to restaurants and stuff. But anyways, he went to Dodger Stadium and he snuck in like some like in like one of those flasks, like plastic flasks of like I think it was Hennessy because it's like one of his favorite drinks.
Henny.
And he was like mixing drinks on his social media, like making. And Dodgers found that,
Found
and
him.
they banned him from the stadium. I'm like,
Bastards.
really?
I've done way more for less, man.
Are you kidding me?
It's kind of crazy because social media can sway so much. It's like I feel that's when like bad press is always good press.
Yeah.
For the Dodgers or for
Like,
her?
That's a social media content creator being like, I'm in Dodger Stadium making my own drink. It's like,
Oh, I see. I thought you meant like
no, like the
it's
exposure.
as if
Yeah.
the Dodgers at this point are like gambling. Like, okay, is the public gonna be mad about this racist thing that we do? Oh, they are. Okay, let's backpedal.
Oh,
it.
backpedal.
Okay, are they gonna be mad about this racist thing that we do? Oh, they are. Okay, let's backpedal. It's like
Because we saw the one of us,
the guy with the serape.
Yeah,
Now this was a white guy, and so I don't know what, but he tried to get into Dodger Stadium, and he had this serape on, which is like a Mexican scarf, but it wasn't the colors of the teams. It was just like a multicolored scarf. And they were like, you can't, I don't know why.
But I think it had the LA Dodgers logo on it.
They were like, that has neither of the team's colors, so you can't wear that.
You can't wear it.
Which is like,
And they said it's offensive. You can't wear it.
I'm like, the things I've seen people wear at Petco Park, like,
But
People
it said
come wearing
neither
different
of them-
colors every day.
But they literally were like, that's neither the team's colors. You can't bring it in.
You know,
LA is supposed to be such this
There's
like
another
big
reason behind
Latino
it that they're not saying.
Well,
community.
he said he's like, I wanted to wear it because like all the
Things that
riots
are
going
going
on,
on,
everything.
yeah.
I want to show my support, and this is like a little way I can do that.
They're like, no,
They're like,
take it off.
nope.
Wow.
That's crazy because that's like a razor's edge from being like you can't wear the opponent's team's
Yeah.
colors in our stadium. You know, it's
Totally.
like that's like the next level is like when you come into the Padres game, you can't wear anything Dodgers.
How about I can wear whatever I
What?
want? I mean, obviously they have a dress code.
I
Probably,
was there and
but
I saw. You know, how many times do we see other random teams, merge too? It's
Totally.
like I was there at the Dodger game on Wednesday at Petco Park, and there was a whole family wearing Arizona Diamondbacks. I was like, random,
That's
but
neither
okay,
of the teams.
cool, like whatever. It's like Dodger Stadium is they're under fire, man.
Yeah.
I do love like how people are shouting out the Padres because the Padres had like I think a mariachi band.
They came back the next week and sang the
So,
same song with this mariachi
every-
band.
Awesome.
Every City Connect, every single Friday night,
Yeah,
it's the same. It's like the mariachi house band.
that's awesome.
It's the same guys every Friday. They're super cool.
I think we're getting some converts happening. I think the Dodger fans are going, hey, the Padres are like literally celebrating.
San
Inclusive.
Diego always. It makes.
Down here.
I mean, it makes more sense. We're closer to the border.
Yeah.
We always do those like, culture nights
Yeah,
and
so
everything.
fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I just got
Uh-oh.
a LinkedIn notification from Annie. She is working on her LinkedIn
You're not
right now on the
supposed to- you weren't supposed to
podcast.
say
No,
it.
I can't. I'm not going to let this slide.
No, I was
If
going
you
for my
looked at my LinkedIn,
Yeah.
you'd be like, "Who the hell is this person?"
Annie
I
took
have not updated that thing.
that
since
conversation
college.
to update her LinkedIn.
She
I
said
went
she applied
to
for a job at Trump
LinkedIn
Mobile. Is that what
to
she?
look at some of what
Sure.
old people who I used to work with in government were saying.
Okay.
See if they were posting about it. And then I got distracted and I looked at people I know and I'm like, oh, it's Brian.
You should look up mine.
I'm now looking at the dress code and conduct of Petco Park and what can get you
Okay.
kicked out.
Let's hear it.
Guests
Serape.
shall not use foul or abusive language, obscene gestures,
Forget it.
inconsiderate, vulgar, or otherwise
it.
inappropriate
Is that
behavior
new?
towards
Got it.
San Diego Padres employees,
Oh, okay.
partners, players, or any other guest. So if you cuss,
But
if
can
you
I-
guys go and you cuss out,
Does that
John,
include the coach?
You can get kicked
Does that
out.
include like the
Dave
manager of the team?
Roberts.
What's funny is
Dude.
they only kick you out if it starts getting like violent, like a big
Right.
group starts involving
Obviously
themselves.
passionate. You can't kick me out for passion.
No.
No, certainly
For
not. And honestly, we
passion.
wouldn't.
No.
Also, if you're super intoxicated,
Don't
they'll
you
be
dare.
like, "You're out."
Okay.
It basically says you can't wear inappropriate or indecent clothing which may detract from other attendees' experiences and shall wear appropriate clothing and footwear at all time. That's really loose and open.
It's vague.
Yeah.
Very vague
if,
so that they can change it.
If
they
you
need
come
be.
naked, you're leaving.
no, it's anything offensive.
Yeah.
So if one of the workers at the front gate is like, that offends me. I don't like Mexican people. Take it off.
Guests shall refrain from inappropriate displays of affection as Petco Park is a public family-friendly venue.
Oh,
So I can't just
shoot.
kiss my bros if we get a home run.
I guess
We've been doing
not.
that for
That'd
years.
be-
Okay.
That'd be offensive.
Kind
to
of
some.
messed up.
We've been doing that for years. Nobody's even said anything.
John, don't let it stop us, man.
All right, man. We'll be fine.
Again,
It's so
all of this
funny.
Nothing
is,
wrong with
all
kissing
of
my
this is
bros if we
super
get a home
vague
run.
because
San
you only
Diego.
get kicked out if you do the absolute extreme.
What's so funny too is like, this is the Dodgers and the Padres, but if you go to Yankee Stadium, those guys who ripped the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove during the World Series, they got like a 2-game suspension, and they're like, "You can come back."
I love it. They're on the IL.
Everyone's like, "Are they kicked out for life?" And the Yankees are like, "No, we suspended them for 5 games." They're like, "What?" They
My
basically
God.
assaulted Mookie Betts, and they're like, the guy's like, "I can't believe we got suspended for 3 games." I'm like, dog, you literally pulled the ball out of the player's glove. It's crazy.
It is kind of interesting the things that are banned items because I'm sure all of them have like stories. Some of them make sense, like alcoholic beverages. Like you can't bring a
Pass.
speaker.
Oh, really? Huh?
What's funny is it says you can't bring animals, but they literally have like dogs at the park night.
Yeah. Bark at the park.
Yeah, and then there's like
Of course.
balloons. You can't bring bubble making devices.
Well, that
Oh.
makes
You can't
sense.
bring like any sort of
I hadn't considered that.
frisbee or football or throwable sports devices.
Well, that makes sense. Can't
Glass-
throw
But you
stuff
can
on
bring
the
a
field.
baseball to get signed.
But you can bring a baseball, and it says you can't bring any ball retrieving devices other than a baseball glove.
Not
What about
to
big
mention they
gloves?
sell baseballs in the park. You buy a baseball, you go play catch in the
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
No
Throw it
inflatables
at Tatis?
unless approved by the Padres.
Oh,
Lawn
classic.
chairs.
That is pretty criminal because Park in the Park, I'm like, How
They
cool
should
would it
allow
be?
chairs.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
think
the
it
zippy
is?
little
I think
chair.
it's a time efficiency thing because imagine the security guard would have to like open that thing up, make sure there's nothing in
Yeah.
it. I'm sure it's time efficiency.
It's probably people leaving their chairs too.
yeah, true.
bunch of
but I'm
trash
like,
left behind.
could you imagine getting a Tommy Bahama chair and just posting up in the park with that huge
Awesome.
screen? Ah, that'd be
No,
Little
awesome.
sipper.
no
Come on.
chewing tobacco or vaporizers, which no one listens to. People vape in that place.
People vape all the time.
So you don't want us to play baseball? Okay.
They rip all the
Weird.
time.
No
I do
tents.
see baby a lot.
No sports equipment of any kind except baseball gloves.
So they wouldn't let you bring a baseball in. I thought they
No
would.
umbrellas.
What about a bat?
What about a bat?
All right.
And no wallet chains.
Ooh,
That is criminal.
that is criminal.
If we're
Hey,
come on.
We should test that.
Hey, if,
The
Yeah,
wallet-
walk in with a wallet chain. See what happens.
Let
If
me
we're-
tell you, a wallet chain, like a normal chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't get the stop for that.
if we're going back to 2005, we need to have our wallet chains. Folks,
Yes.
the war is on. World War
is
III. We're
on.
back, baby. I mean, we don't know for sure World War III, but this is a wedding video from Lebanon, taken near the Israeli border. This was hanging out. Little bombing going on during the wedding. You ever do a wedding like that, Annie? Little
Oh,
airstrike
my
happened during your
goodness.
weddings? Yeah, pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly
So,
stuff.
I don't really know what
I'm
the
gonna-
circumstance of this war is.
I'm going to walk you through it. It's a little murky at the moment.
But it'll clear up.
But for years and years and years, President of Israel, Netanyahu, has been claiming that Iran is months, if not weeks away from having a nuclear bomb. And they're going to use it against Israel. We have to strike now. He's been saying it for years and years and years. Apparently, it finally stuck because about a week ago, Israel came to the U.S. and said, we're going to attack Iran. Do you want in? And apparently we said, no, thank you. And they said, we're going to do it anyways. So they launched a strike on Iran,
On a nuclear site.
on a few nuclear sites, sending the bunker busters, trying to break up what they thought was a, nuclear bomb, maybe, that they have. Iran responded over the last couple of nights, has been sending their own airstrikes, drone strikes. It's all going down. I hate you, you hate me. Let's get together and fight.
Yeah.
Right? So
Let's get together and
the U.S. is a ally of Israel for whatever reason at this point still. And so we've been sending them some planes. We've been sending them some help with what do you call that? Shooting stuff out, anti-aircraft
So
and
wild
that
to
kind of
me.
stuff. I mean, it seems dramatic, but this is the kind of stuff that gets us into world wars. Like a small conflict with big implications where Russia and the U.S. and all these different countries back certain people,
horses, yeah.
and once they get going, it's like, okay, well, here we go.
It's wild.
Wartime.
There's so many layers to it, but the fact that us as the United States are just sending like millions of dollars of equipment to other countries, I'm like, can we just like take a pause here
Yeah.
and fix what we got going on here
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
sec before we start shipping out millions of dollars of equipment to Israel
Yeah.
for a fight that like
Has been going on for hundreds of years.
Bernie
what?
Holy
Bernie
war.
Sanders and Tim Kaine have tried to introduce basically, which is kind of confusing in the sense that it's already in the Constitution, but they're trying to introduce a resolution that on Monday that would require Congress to have voted on any sort of action on in a step to declare war.
Right.
Because right now, Trump's like, I may not do it, I may do it, I may not do it, I may do it, which is like literally what he said.
classic
It's
game.
like a true quote is, I may do it. He told reporters on the White House lawn, I may not do it.
might
I
do
mean,
it.
nobody knows what I'm going to do.
Maybe I will.
That is absolutely true, President Donald Trump. We don't know what you're going to do.
And so they're trying to be like, hey, like, you can't just decide this. Like, Congress has to vote if we're going to war. You can't just
Right.
do it. But he's kind of like, I may do it. I
And
may
it's
not do
like
it.
categorically an act of war is the thing. So it's like we can't not decide. It's not like, oh, well, we're just going to
Yeah.
help them out. Like Israel
Yeah.
kind
Right.
of like made this preemptive strike where they've even
But
been
also,
calling it
I
a
can
preemptive strike.
understand wanting to get involved when there's the threat of nuclear war.
I mean,
in all cases, I could see all of the major players in the world wanting to be like, hey, let's not do no.
Yeah.
No, policia.
That's the problem.
No.
That's the problem is World War III. I don't know what weapons we're going to use, but World War IV, we'll use sticks and stones.
Because, okay.
You never heard that? You never heard that?
No.
Because
We'll
World
be
War
dead.
III, we're going to destroy everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right now, the U.S. government is sending out cruise ships and planes to go
What are we
get
talking,
American.
Royal Caribbean or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Something of that, not super nice, like flagship or
Oh,
something.
okay, got it.
Like we're not sending our millions to the people to the cruise ships.
Not the good stuff. Not
no
the caviar.
way. It's the carnival of it all.
Okay, that's fine.
To go get American citizens out of Iran and
Yeah.
Israel and everything, and to be like, hey, if you want to leave, and they're literally like, hey, here's a link if you want to leave. Sign up now to be on this
it
cruise
out.
back.
Check it
We've
out.
been tracking what people on the internet refer to as the pizza index. Now, this is true. Apparently,
should we talk about it on the post show?
I think we're about there.
I mean, it's up to you, of course.
Well, here's the thing about the post show is that every week, not only do we record an episode of the podcast, we record an extra bonus episode exclusively for our Patreon supporters. Now, down in our bio is going to be a link to our Patreon. For $4 a month, that's $1 for each of us, Annie, Cara, Ryan, John. You can help keep the lights on around here. You can help keep these cameras rolling, and you're going to get access to that post show. This week, we're going to talk about the pizza index. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to tell you. It regards the Pentagon.
And pizza.
So sign up for our Patreon. $4 a month is going to help us keep things going here at Albright Entertainment.
Wow.
Bada bing, bada boom. I'm going to just flash this to the camera really quick. It's just about that time, folks.
Yes.
Lip sync battle is around the corner.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm pretty excited.
I'm very excited.
How are
we'll
you
talk
feeling?
about that on the post show too.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about that on the post show. Absolutely. Guys, great episode. As always, keep the faith. Happy Fair Day. On the couch, as always, Cara Tafolla, Annie the Skovmand. I'm Ryan.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next week right here on
What the
Podcast.
It's early, guys.
I could tell by how many times you yawned into the microphone.
So tired.
Oh, I'm so sleepy. Annie's be like,
Remember when Starbucks made my coffee wrong? So I've
Oh,
got
mine
no coffee.
sucks, by the way. It's bad.
Ugh,
sorry.
It's very bad.
$50 later.